Hello and welcome to Bury AFC's Shaken Up Show. I'm Sanny and I'm joined today by Bury AFC's centre half. It's Jimmy Moore. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, how are we?
I'm all right, thank you. Where are you coming from? It looks like you may be in some sort of futuristic jail or something. Where are you?
My dining room. This is it's a feature wall we've decided to have done. Looks quite nice when it's not a matte black wall there.
Okay. Did you design it yourself?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, designed it, built it, installed it. Had a decorator paint.
Is this over lockdown or is this been ongoing?
Well, we moved house in between the two lockdowns, so I suppose it wasn't actually whilst we were fully locked down, but it was over the last 6 months or so.
Cool. Well, the first thing I want to ask you, Jimmy, actually, before I ask about anything else, is I heard somebody told me that you played for Bury AFC when you were on the day you were supposed to have an operation, and you put it back. Is this true?
Well, yeah. I did. I was supposed to have an operation, on I think it was the 19th of December, but it all just happened so quickly. So I've been on the waiting list for it's called septoplasty. It's just basically a small nose operation because sometimes at night I struggle to breathe. And I was on the waiting list for ages, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, you've got an operation. We've had a cancellation. It's next week on Friday or Thursday. I can't remember." And obviously I was like, so I told the gaffer, and he was like, "Okay, there's not much we can do." But then just over the weekend, I thought, well, I don't really know if I want it. It's a week before Christmas, and I've got football, so I think all the things put into one pot. I just thought, I'm just going to leave it. I just said to him, I said, if I can get another date whenever the next one is available, I'll do that. So yeah, I delayed it and played football.
That is commitment, isn't it? That's commitment. If ever you thought if a player wasn't committed, we've got one in you, that's for sure. Have they kept you on the list and they haven't bumped you off completely then?
Well, yeah, I'm still on the list. It's just everything's delayed at the minute, so it is what it is. Like I say, it doesn't massively affect me like in my day-to-day life. It's more when I'm laid down. So if I just have a couple of whiskies before I go to bed, I don't think.
Fair enough. Right. Well, so far your career for Bury AFC has been pretty eventful, right? You scored on your debut and you ended up going in goal.
Yeah, I don't think there's a position I've not played yet. I'm just waiting for that number 10 role. Obviously came in as a centre half. Did most of the pre-season there, but I think then the gaffer was saying there was something missing in the middle in the defensive midfield. Will I give it a go? So I give it a go, and obviously we had a great result. So then I've been stuck there since, and then I had a spell in the net, and then I had a spell at right back the other day, the last game we played. And then back into the middle. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the number 10 role now, and then I'll be happy.
The complete footballer.
I don't know about that.
So now you signed for Bury. Andy Welsh on his interview said that he said that you weren't quite sure if you were going to carry on playing for this season. What was the story there?
Yeah, well, I got a bit of a bad injury last year. The year before, for Trafford. And it was me, MCL or ACL or whatever it was in your knee. And it kept me out for so long. And then even at the start of the following season, in the pre-season, I didn't really get any games in because of my knee. And it just felt like it took forever. And I was just a bit, do I really, really want to do this? So I didn't, with all due respect to like a lot of the clubs that I played for, I thought, I didn't really want to do it, all the travelling and stuff like that. I thought I'm okay. I'm happy with what I've achieved really, and I'll just focus on work and family like you do. But then a couple of friends that I played with in the past were signed for Bury, and then put me in touch with the manager, and that was when it changed really. Just the thought of playing for obviously Bury and the amount of fans that I was hoping to play in front of, it changed my mind. I thought, well, I'm not over the hill just yet. I've still got a good few seasons in me. I'll go and I'll give it a go and hopefully see out my career here.
So so far, yeah, not quite as many fans as we all would have hoped, but there's been enough there to give you a flavour of what it'd be like, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and obviously everyone's interactive as well. So like on Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not one that is constantly on there and tweeting everything in the world that I do, but it's nice when you obviously finish a game of football or anything like that, you get your messages, you get comments and stuff. It's nice. Obviously, you take a few rough with a smoothie if you're not had a bad game, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Well, I've done a bit of Googling on you, so correct me if I'm wrong when I read out these names. So you played for Cheadletown, Atherton Collieries, Abbey Hay, and then Runcorn Linnets and Trafford FC, and you had a couple of spells at both of those clubs. Am I on the money there?
Yeah. Just there was a bit like that was. So yeah, my career started off at Glossop when I was like 17, and I did a spell at Glossop and Hyde. But then I kind of most of my life I've probably put my career in front of football. So I spent early years a lot of time in London. So I moved down to London, working in London, and then when I came back, I went straight to Trafford. But because I probably had about 4 years of not playing, 3 or 4 years not playing, it was probably a bit too soon to go because Trafford were one below the Conference North at that point. So I was probably just a little bit off where I needed to be. So I spent probably half a season at Cheadle and half a season at Abbey to get back into the swing of things. And then from there, though, I didn't go back to Trafford. I went to Coles. I really enjoyed my time there. But again, I had another injury there. And that was the only thing. I had to have an operation on my groin. I had a hernia, which spoiled the time. Well, not spoiled, but cut my time short at Coles, which was a shame because I really enjoyed it there. And then from there I went to Linnets, and that was obviously a great time. And then Trafford, great time, and now on to Bury.
Yeah, well, at Linnets you won the North West Counties Premier Division. And also a Player of the Year that season. And then you also won the Northern Premier League Cup, if I'm right, at Trafford. So not too bad as far as achievements go.
Yeah, the last that. Like I said, I was in a lot of the teams. Like before, we was always in like promotion hunts or anything, but never really crossed the line. Coles won the promotion, but I was part of the team all the way up. But then I'd left at the end because of my injury. And then with Linnets. Yeah, we won the league. That was probably my best season, really. I won Player of the Year, Fans Player of the Year, and Players Player of the Year. I was in Team of the Year for the North West Counties Prem, and we won the league. And it was a proper party when we won the league. And then the following year, I went back to Trafford because that was my home club. That was where I'd come from. And I thought the opportunity came, and I thought, well, I'll give it another go. So I went back to Trafford, and we had another good season there. We underachieved really in the league because for most of the season we were in the playoffs and up there challenging, and we kind of fell away for whatever reason. But we had a great run in the cup and won the Integro Cup, I think it's called, beating Farsley in the final, which was good. Yeah, top day out.
Yeah, when I looked at your time at Runcorn, which wasn't too long ago, I think like 2017, they had some photos of you looking fairly fresh faced, but you didn't seem to have any tattoos at all. Are these more recent?
This is the one that I had all my arms. It was just my neck that I've had done recently.
And what's going on there? What is it?
I just like tattoos. One arm is all about my kids. The other arm's all about, well, it's got a couple of things in there, but family and my children. I've got one on my back that's about my children as well, but this is more just because I like it.
So is it just a pattern from what?
Yeah. All different kind of patterns, different kind of styles joined together. Some symmetrical, some geometrical, some different ones.
I'm guessing the tattoo on your neck must have been fairly painful, right?
Well, it was. Anybody tells you that every tattoo is painful, so if anybody tells you that a tattoo isn't painful, they're lying. But the one on my neck was easily the most painful. Every single part with the back of my head. I've got it at the back of my head as well. You can't see it at the minute because of my hair, but that was so painful. I will definitely not be getting the other neck done anyway.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. So outside of football, you run a series of what's his name now? It's cash converters, right?
Cash generators.
Cash generate. Oh, is that the rival? Is cash converters the rival?
Yeah. So I own 3 cash generators. One in Salford, Rochdale, and Bolton. So I've been doing this like since I was young. Really, I started working there just as a normal employee, and then became a manager quite young, like early 20s, and then became a director of of a franchise. But 3 years ago, the company changed its kind of thing. We basically were owned by a company, and they sold the company back to us. So
a management takeover then.
Yeah, when it was a franchise, you used to have to pay to get into Cash Generator and then pay Cash Generator money every single month. And that was what it was to be part of the franchise. But now the franchisees, being me and 62 others, I think it is, have bought the company. So now we make all the decisions on where the company's going, what we invest in, and we pay a very, very small retainer, like £200 a month just for legal fees and stuff like that. So effectively, we're no longer a franchise, as in we pay the money, but we act like a franchise because we collaborate together.
So yeah, a load of members paying all in and then making decisions together. Sounds a bit like a football club. I know fairly well.
Yeah. It's effectively the same thing. It is, but obviously we've all got our own little mini clubs.
Yeah. So what's the weirdest thing anyone's like converted or generated? Is that the term?
Yeah. It happened years ago. It used to be a lot stranger than it is now. It's very, very the same now. Everyone just brings in mobile phones and stuff like that. But I had a life-size Elvis Presley, like a waxwork. That was a strange one.
How much did you price that up as?
Well, you can't really. You just have to see if you think it's worth a gamble. Like for me, if it's interesting, I'll pay pretty good money just because it's interesting, and just more people will talk about it. If I don't make that much money or make any money, it's not the end of the world. It's just that the customer will see it and might start talking about us, which is a good thing. We had, I don't know if you hang
on a minute. So where did you put the Elvis then? In which case was he on display?
On the shop floor, yeah. And then when we sold him, someone was shouting Elvis has left the building or something in the background.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Anyway, you were saying what else have you had? We had
it. You might not. Well, you definitely will, but you wouldn't have seen one very, very, very recently. Do you remember when people used to go underwater and instead of having a mask, they had like a big metal fishbowl helmet?
Right. Okay. Yeah, like a deep sea diver sort of thing.
Like a deep sea diver, but like a proper old one, like I don't know, from the 50s or 60s or something. Metal like this thick, so heavy. We had one of them come in. That was difficult to deal with. I have no idea. Obviously, it's probably really expensive, but I'm thinking I don't want to lose my money here because it was crazy different. And we also the maddest thing we ever had was it was about 6'5" Predator. And it was completely like stone. It was metal and it was so heavy. Like it was in about 3 bits, legs, torso, head, and you put it together and it was so heavy. And that was we kept that behind our counter and it was like towering over me like this.
So the person who
that thing like 6 foot Predator metal into Google, you can actually see what they look like. I don't know why people have got them.
So the person who brought that in, did they buy it back off you eventually, or?
No, not really. The really unique, strange things that are massive, or they don't really buy them back because it's just too much effort getting them to and from where they are. They just want to get rid of them, and they've tried to sell them somewhere else and they can't. So we'll offer some money. The majority of the stuff that gets bought back is the stuff with personal information, laptops, mobiles, stuff like that.
Is there anything you're not allowed to take?
Well, GHDs, we're not allowed to say GHDs because they're copyright. They will not allow you. We've had maybe one or two in the company, and GHD are straight onto head office. Like, I don't know how they notice, but they just will not allow a resale of the product. So we're not allowed to say GHDs.
Wow.
Really, anything that's beauty products, people that have like had a razor, a shaver, or anything that is been used to like groom yourself, like we won't go really near any of that. And just stuff that you can't test. That's the only real, like, obviously we're not, depending on the size, if we've got a massive shop, I might bring in a couch or something, but if my shops aren't that big, so it tends to just stick to technology really, but we'll take anything if you can sell it.
I was watching The Dig on Netflix the other day. You know, the unearth all this Anglo-Saxon gold. Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, what if somebody came in with something priceless? What would you do?
Well, offer them a price. It's really difficult because, I mean, you've got to be an expert as well. Like, as much as I know about stuff, I'm not an antique dealer. Like, you have to be if you're an antique, you have to have a specialist and you have to have a license and you have to have got all your qualifications and stuff. So if stuff comes in like that, we tend to just point them in a different direction and just say, look, we can buy it off you, but you
British Museum's over that way.
You best go into somebody because you might be onto something that's worth a lot of money. But I can't really give that answer because I've not got the skill set.
Do you ever get anyone like, you know, porting stuff that's the partners or something? You know, maybe that Predator, for example, somebody's wife came in and was like, please get rid of this. Yeah,
well, we don't know. We get them to sign an agreement to say that it legally belongs to them, and we take pictures and we take ID so that we stop ourselves from taking stolen or etc. But I mean, we could never stop if someone brings in the missus's ring. Like, we have to operate in good faith, really. And you'd be surprised, like, a lot of people think that we have lots of stolen goods, but in a year where I'm buying a lot of stuff, it's probably one or two items that the police will take. So it's very rare.
Well, this is all really useful to know because my house is full of random stuff. So I'm just thinking, what can I not be bothered trying to put on eBay or something? But I could bring over.
It's very game. Just come and bring your car next to mine, and we'll swap and put it in the boot.
Oh yeah. Well, thinking back to football, so you're a City fan, right?
Yes.
And yes. So how do you feel about, you know, we've talked about franchises, right? You know, City once upon a time, you know, were, you know, the underclass as far as the Manchester clubs go. Obviously, Bury were very much below all of that. But apart from that 14th of February game where we beat you at Main Road, but we won't talk about that. I know every Bury fan has to mention beating City at Main Road and Frank Clark quitting afterwards. Paul Butler Day, we call it. But anyway, I've got that out of my system now. How have you as a fan, like, changed how you feel about the club now they've got all this money and they've got their own franchises around the world and stuff?
My feelings for the club have never changed. I love City. That's the team I support. I think it's my feelings for the game that have changed. When I was a boy, I used to go to the City games at Main Road with my dad. We had a season ticket for many years. And that was when I used to really, really love football. And obviously, I still love football, but the game's changed so much. And with the VAR and the handball and stuff like that, I'm becoming less connected to it than I was when I was a boy. So my feelings for the club don't think have changed. Like, obviously, I love watching City play football because for me, there's no team that are anywhere near as good as City when they're playing football. But yeah, in terms of the owners and the money and stuff like that, as long as the club is being run correctly, which quite evidently is, then for me as a fan, I'm just enjoying the ride. It's good to be at the top. But it makes no difference, really. I'm not going to lose sleep over it if we became back to being the City that we used to be. as long as City's still there, it makes no real difference.
Well, yeah, well, we as Bury fans can vouch for that. As long as your club's still there, that's the main thing, I suppose. Just thinking as well as because you're a non-league player, and you clearly you love the game. You've put yourself through injury and all sorts to carry on playing. Like it's such a different world to that Premier League world. Does that taint how you feel about watching Premier League and VAR and all the rest of it as well? Because certainly in lower league football, it feels very different, and definitely in non-league, it's very different again.
I don't think it changes my feelings for the individuals. Like if they've exceeded at what they're doing, then they deserve whatever the limit of the game is. I'm completely fine with that. The one thing that I don't like are the rules are different. I get very frustrated watching the games now when I see a striker just fall over. It really frustrates me. And when a tackle goes in and it's a yellow card, but it's not even a foul, that's what is upsetting me about the game, really. And then obviously the technology that they're introducing. What's frustrating about VAR is, for me, referees used to make mistakes and then you'd get one for you, then one against you, and it'd balance out. You're still getting one for you and one against you now, only people are looking at it 50 times. So it's even more frustrating. So that's the only thing. Like, personally, the players, I'm happy that I'm not like that with anyone in life. If you're succeeding at something and you're making an amazing life for yourself, then kick on. I'm happy for you, because that's my aim in life. I want to do the best I can possibly do.
Well, moving back on to the best you possibly have done, like in your footballing career, are there any kind of standout memories or standout games?
Obviously, cup final, Trafford. There was a game for Coles against West Didsbury where we were 1-0 down and we scored 2 in 2 minutes at the end, and it was a great game. Obviously, winning the league for Linnets. But there was one game for Linnets that stands out in my memory. We were playing Runcorn Town, who were our rivals. It was a derby, and it was Boxing Day. And I for some reason, I never played Runcorn Town before, and I was a little bit nervous before the game because apparently they were a good team and stuff. So we went there and we dicked them 5-1, and there was about 1,000 people, and it was just a top atmosphere, top day, and then. That was when we kind of thought we're going to win the league. We were battering everyone. So that game stands out. And a game that stands out for all the right and the wrong reasons for me was the last game of the season for Runcorn when we won the league. But I missed the game when we won the league because I was on my stag do. I was getting married in a couple of weeks, and it was my stag do. So I missed the game that we won the league. Obviously, I had a video call with all the players and singing a lot. And then the last game of the season, I came back and we were playing Runcorn Town again, but we'd already won the league. So I spoke to Ello, the gaffer, and I said, Gaff, I know you don't normally do this, he said, but please can I start? I want to start, and because I've obviously been playing all year, and it'd be great if I could start. And because I wouldn't normally ask that question normally, it's the manager's job, but just because it was the end of the season, we've won the league. And he dragged me to one side and he said, are you ready? Because you've only just got off the plane. You've only been home a few hours. Are you ready? And I was like, hello, I'm ready. Don't worry, I'm ready. And he was like, right, you're starting. I went, oh, thanks, mate. Nice one. 10 minutes into the game, I could not run. My lungs were blowing up. I sprinted past the striker and I was signaling, I can't breathe. I have to come off. Ello was fuming. He was absolutely fuming. Anyway, so he didn't look at me then until about half an hour after the game, and when we were celebrating, and I was like, I'm sorry, Gaff. He was like, don't do that to me again.
Oh.
So that sticks out, but not really for the right reasons, but for the funny reasons.
Well, I should also at this point apologise for the language, Jimmy, when you were talking. But I'm sure we'll edit it out, or maybe we'll breeze all over it. Well, actually, as it happens, I've got a message here. As you can see, it's quite a long message. It's from the Trafford FC supporters club, because I'm Twitter friends with them. So I asked them about you.
Okay.
And he said that you were ace for them, and he gave 100% in every game. And you really buzzed off the support, and you were a top bloke as well. So, and even though you were injured, you were thoroughly professional when you played for them as well. And when you won the cup, you celebrated like you were a fan. So you held in high esteem there.
Yeah, the fans are brilliant at Trafford. To be honest, so the fans are brilliant in quite a lot of non-league clubs. They're all quite unique. They all stick together. But the Trafford fans were, from the minute I went in, and all of the people that work there as well, the chairman, the sea ladies and that, they're all just really nice people. I've got loads of time for you. So for me, it's their club. So it's disrespectful if you're not the same, if you're not giving everything that you've got. So yeah, it's second nature.
Cool. I also was thinking as well, right? Because when we saw the image of you being revealed as a player, and you're there, your arms are folded, and you're covered in tattoos, and we're all like, "Oh, flaming hell, this guy's an absolute machine." Do you ever feel like you've got one over an opposition player just when they look at you before they even see you play?
Well, it's strange this, because obviously I've only recently got my neck tattoo. So that's the first time anybody's really ever said anything like that about me. So it's all quite new. I've always liked to tackle and like that side of the game, but I don't think I've ever been looked at and gone, he looks like he's aggressive or looks hard. But I think the tattoo has kind of given me that edge. So I think when the season gets going, I might start using it.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah,
little word into the opposition ears.
Just got to make sure that the ref doesn't take too unkindly to it.
I'm always nice. I'm always nice to the ref.
There you go. Now it has been a pretty frustrating season for us all. Obviously, we've got what's going on in the world as well. What's your opinion on what should happen to the season so far, or what happens to this season? Because it's all up in the air, isn't it?
We have to do something to try and finish the season in some way for me, because last season was taken away, and now if this season's taken away, even if for us it's pretty irrelevant really, because we've been in it for 7 games. So whatever happens, we just have to dust ourselves down and crack on. But for the likes of the teams that are at the top last year, and now they're probably still at the top this year, and they're going nowhere, it can't be done. So I think we've got to get creative, and if it means creating two mini leagues into a playoff for promotion and relegation, or only play each other once, or whatever it is, I think we need to do something that we can finish a season and create a promoted and a relegated, whether it's completely fair or not. Because, and for me, if I talk about it personally as well, I don't know how many. I've had 2 years taken away from me in my 30s. How many more years have I got? I still feel quite fit and healthy and young, so I don't feel like I'll be finishing anytime soon, but still, you never know. So, and again, another one is the thought of waiting all the way till September again to start a season. What do we do? We're not professionals. We're not training every day. It's hard. Even when you don't know what timeline you've got to work with, it's really difficult to motivate yourself to really work hard.
Yeah, and thinking about that, training situation, how are you managing to keep fit at the moment? Are you managing to stick at it?
Yeah, well, we've got a fitness coach, haven't we, that don't leave us alone. Emails at 11:30 at night. Have you got to do your workout? So, no, we're all ticking. I'm sure we're all ticking over. We all, I think, to be fair to Gaff, he's not really been on our case this time round, because obviously there's no. We don't know when it's going to end. I'm presuming when we get 2 to 3 weeks notice, because I mean, the beauty of it is we're all quite fit anyway, so it'll only take us two games and maybe 2 weeks until we're kind of feeling normal again. So yeah, bring it on. I just keep ticking over a few runs a week, but if once I get the deadline, I'll just make sure that I've got a proper plan in place to make sure that we're doing the right stuff, sprints and stuff like that.
So the fitness coach is what, emailing you plans, or what's he actually getting you doing?
Just workout plans, just to make sure that we're ticking over. Yeah.
Any ball work, or is it just fitness stuff?
No, mainly just like strength and conditioning, like lunges, squats, that kind of stuff, sprints. Yeah.
I mean, it must be quite hard at the moment, like when you don't know what the future's going to hold, and it's not like we've got an end date in sight. I know it's hard. It's hard for us all. I mean, I can't bring myself to go for a run at the moment. I just can't quite face it. I'm just trying to step out of it. But when you've got
the hardest bit, and football's only a small bit of it. So I'm thinking, well, when's football coming back? I need to be worried about that. And then I'm like, well, when are schools going back? Because I've got these kids at home that are driving me insane. And then I'm thinking, well, when are my shops going to reopen? Because I'm losing money every week. So, yeah, the worst thing is just you don't know. And that's the hard. And then when you don't know things, you struggle with your motivation. If you've got a deadline for anything in life, you'll work towards it. If there's no end in sight, then what are you training for? What are you working for?
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have some resolution soon on the football front, if anything, if not anything else. Well, so how's homeschooling going for you then? Not well.
Well, to be honest, I'm quite lucky in the fact that I only have to all my kids. They've got 3 kids, so only on a Friday do I have all 3 of them, which is quite lucky in the fact that it's only one day. But still, trying to do all 3. 2 of them are in school that I've got different classes. One's Zooming, one's seesawing, whatever it is. And then I've got a baby. So the baby's just running riot, trying to play with the sisters, you know what I mean? But the other days, because my wife's a teacher, they have got some places in schools, but just not every day. So, yeah, it's all good fun.
You've not done any PE then?
They let Joe do that.
Well, it's been great talking to you. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing you playing again. Hopefully, the rest of the boys as well. But it's probably time for a quiz. What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's go.
How are you feeling about it?
Well,
every time I ask a player how they're feeling about it, they're like, "Oh, I hate this. I'm being terrible."
It depends what it's a quiz on, doesn't it?
Well, okay. I've got a very special quiz for you, Jimmy.
Gotta be football.
This is the outfield players who've played in goal quiz. Yeah, because believe it or not, there is a Wikipedia page on this. So if all these facts are wrong, then I'm going to blame them. So viewers at home, grab yourself a pen and a paper, and we'll get playing a quiz. Now last time I was with Abingdon Edwards, I didn't misplace my pen and my paper, so then I couldn't keep track of the score. So I've got some paper. I'll grab my pen over here. Right, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, question number 1. Okay, this is multiple choice. 6th of March, 1875, Alexander Bozinor played in goal for England against Scotland, but he was a striker. Ended up playing in goal for 15 minutes, and he played with 10 men. But he kept a clean sheet in those 15 minutes. Where was the goalie? Where was England's goalie at the time? Right. Was it A, he'd knocked himself out trying to step out of the dressing room because he was so tall, hit his head on the door frame? B, he hadn't worn his regulation boots, so he couldn't play until he got a new pair? Or C, he turned up to the game, England against Scotland, late because his train was delayed? So A, B, or C. He knocked himself out, he wasn't wearing the right boots, or his train was late. England versus Scotland, 1875, the big one.
Because other people are playing, I've just got to keep my thoughts to myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can share your thoughts, but don't give us an answer yet. What are you thinking?
Well, did they have regulations on boots back then? Can you not see where you're going?
For me, football only started in 1885 when Berry started, so I've got no idea what happened 10 years prior. All right, question number 2. Which of these World Cup winning footballers has not played in goal for their club? So Gerd Muller, or Gerd Muller, or Gerd Muller? It's Gerd Muller, isn't it? The German guy. So A, Gerd Muller, B, Bobby Moore, C, Pele, or D, Diego Maradona. Which of those four has not played in goal for their club? Muller, Moore, Pele, Maradona. All right, question 3. In 1991, what feat did Niall Quinn achieve on the 20th of April for Man City against Derby County? Got you a special City one here, Jimmy.
I know, yeah, but I was 3.
So Niall Quinn, 20th of April, 91, against Derby County. What did he do?
And there's no multiple choice on that one.
No multiple choice. You still have a guess.
I've just got to guess what Niall Quinn did.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. You might get it.
Right, okay. Right, okay.
All right. Now, the next part of this quiz is players who've played in goal, but I want you to write down whether they won or not. Won, lost, or drew. So, question 4. Vinnie Jones for Wimbledon against Newcastle in 1995. Did he win, lose, or draw? 5. Mia Hamm for the USA against Denmark in 95 at the World Cup. Ended up in goal. All right, question 6. John O'Shea for Man United against Tottenham in 2007. John O'Shea, did he win, lose, or draw? Question 7, are you ready?
Yeah.
How are you finding it so far?
Easy, I've got them all right.
Oh, all right. Rio Ferdinand against Portsmouth, 2008. Went in goal. Win, lose, or draw? Well, I hope you get all these wrong. It took me ages to find this on Wikipedia. Number 8, Dean Windass in 2009 for Oldham went in goal against Leicester City. But did they win, lose, or draw? Question 9, Robbie Savage for Derby County against Reading in 2010. And finally, I've got one extra City one for you. You might get this one. Kyle Walker against Atalanta in 2019.
Considering if a keeper goes in net most of the time, it's because of a... Oh, no, it could be an injury, couldn't it? Sent off. I put too many wins there.
All right, so answers. Going back to question 1, the goalie in 1875, what did you say?
C.
It's true, yeah. See, this train was late. I know it was a different world back then, but how did the rest of the team get there? Why wasn't he on the same train? Anyway, for question 2, which of these World Cup winning footballers has not played in goal?
Bobby Moore.
Bobby Moore did play in goal. And not only for West Ham, not only that, he played in goal in a League Cup semi-final, saved a penalty as well. The guy scored the rebound, yeah, and they ended up losing the final. Gerd Muller played in goal. His team won 4-0. And Pele went in goal for Santos in the Brazilian Championship semi-final, second leg.
That's a trick question, that, because Maradona's good with his hands.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, the Pele one's great. He scored a hat-trick, and then he went in goal and saved them from, and he won 4-3. So, I mean, that guy could do anything. So next time Pele and Maradona, that conversation ever comes up, who's better? Well, Pele turned out to be better than Maradona in goal. Anyway, Niall Quinn, what did you go for? 91.
Saved a pen.
He did, but I wanted a little bit more. He scored, then went in goal, and then saved a penalty from Dean Saunders. I'll give you half a point.
If anybody's got that right, they're on the blag. I'm telling you now.
We'll have to find out. Let us know. Let us know in the comments if you got that one right. I reckon there might be a few because that one was quite a famous one.
Half a point.
Half a point. You can have half a point for that. So far, that puts you on 1.5.
1.5 out of 3.
All right. Vinnie Jones. Did he win, lose, or draw?
1.
No, he lost 6-1. Conceded 3 goals.
Oh my God.
Mia Hamm in goal for the USA women's team.
Lost.
1-2-0. It's the USA women's team. Like, they win all the time.
I didn't even know there was a women's team.
Mia Hamm, one of the most famous women's footballers ever. Anyway, John O'Shea, Man United against Tottenham. Yes, 4-0. Rio Ferdinand against Portsmouth.
1.
No, he lost in the FA Cup. 1-0. I think that was a penalty. It was a really bad attempt at trying to save it. Dean Windass.
Lost.
They drew 0-0. He kept a clean sheet at Dean Windass against Leicester.
Reminds me of me. I'm the only Barry keeper to keep a clean sheet.
Have you told the other keepers that?
Every day.
Robbie Savage for Derby County.
1.
No, they lost 4-1.
I knew when I was writing them down. I think if you got someone else in that, they should all be lost. But I still wrote 1 anyway.
And finally, Kyle Walker.
Got to be a win.
No, they drew. They drew 1-1. Yeah. He saved the free kick though.
It weren't even that long ago, that was it?
No, it was 2019, Jimmy. It's 2 years ago.
That's a long time.
Right. So, how's your scores looking? Because I didn't, even though I got a pen in my hand, I didn't write any of the scores down.
2.5 out of 10.
Oh, Jimmy.
I reckon I'm winning.
You've definitely got the lowest out of everyone. That's terrible. Well, in the comments, please let us know how you did. Did you beat Jimmy Moore's paltry 2.5 out of 10? That is bobbins.
If you didn't beat me, you should be ashamed of yourself.
And I really want to know now if anyone else got the Niall Quinn one right. I'm almost certain somebody has. I'm almost certain.
It should have been double points, that one. It was like a double answer.
Right. Well, it's been really good having a chat with you, Jimmy. And yeah, well, I mean, you're a more all rounder, aren't you? Going goal, in the midfield, in defence.
Yeah,
not sure about up front though. What's your goal scoring record like?
Well, when I go up for corners, get the odd one. You never know. You have to ask the other lads. I reckon if I got put in the box, I'd score a few.
Famous words there. Right, we'll hold you to that. We'll see how that goes. Right. Well, really looking forward to seeing you play again. And yeah, best of luck with the training. And I want to know, you've got to let us know now the next time you get some mad thing brought into to the shop. You've got to tweet it.
Yeah.
Like a giant Terminator or something to go with the Predator or something.
There's always something random coming in.
Right. Well, take care, Jimmy, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. Take care, mate. See you later. Ta-da.